Researchers in psychology, neuroscience, and media effects have identified clear patterns showing higher frame rates and higher resolution do increase attentional caption, emotional arousal, and habitual use of media and video games in children. All right, next topic of the day. I'd like to talk. So, we were riding, me and my wife were riding back from Tennessee from visiting family on Thanksgiving, and long drives. I actually drove 2,300 miles in 5 days, guys.
Ooh, that's a lot.
From Florida to Tennessee to Virginia to back to Tennessee, back to Florida. So I was doing a lot of driving, had a lot of time to think. And one of the topics that came through my head was I just started thinking about the addiction levels that children are having and the negative ways that media, video games, etc., might be affecting them.
Yeah, a lot of.
And a thing that came in my head randomly is like, man, I wonder if there is a mathematical equation that you can come up with to figure out the increase in frames per second along with the increase of resolution. Like, I don't know, multiply them together and figure out how much more addictive or how much more response that it's giving a child.
Okay.
There is actually no real universally accepted scientific equation for that.
Really?
There are, they have equations that they think that it's just not there's no way to scientifically equate that accurately.
Okay.
But researchers in psychology, neuroscience, and media effects have identified clear patterns showing higher frame rates and higher resolution do increase attentional caption, emotional arousal, and habitual use of media and video games in children and adults. But obviously, it's much more significant effect on children. Absolutely.
I do love me a good video game, though.
Yeah, I can't lie. I'll be getting down on the sticks, guys. If you ever want to get on that Black Ops 7, let me know. I'll whoop that up.
Black Ops 7? You like Black Ops 7?
Yeah, I got it last week. Great game.
They said the campaign was horrible, though.
I don't play campaign mode.
Okay.
You know me. I don't play campaign mode on Grand Theft Auto. I don't play no game do I ever play campaign mode on. I always am about that multiplayer because I like to make people cry.
Oh, okay.
I like to hear the kids cry. They shouldn't be playing that shit anymore.
What about that Battlefield 7? Did you get the Battlefield 7?
No, I've never been a Battlefield fan myself.
Oh, you've never been to Battlefield?
I've played it, but if I'm gonna go that direction, there are other games that are way more strategic and in depth than Battlefield. If I'm gonna go and leave Black Ops is high intensity, pop, which is probably why it's so addictive.
It's highly addictive.
It's nonstop action.
Yeah, it's nonstop action.
But if I'm gonna go away from that, there's some other games that I prefer to play where you play on teams of several hundred people.
Oh, wow.
And you're in like World War II and you have to take targets and things
so
like
maybe
that.
it's kind of like a military simulation?
Yeah, I love they're military simulation games. If I'm gonna do something other than Black Ops or Call of Duty, I would usually go for a military simulation game because I want to be laid back, relaxing playing rather than not being able to go to sleep for 2 hours after I finish playing because my heart rate's through the dang roof.
Through the roof.
So a lot of what we're going to talk about in this is, I have a lot of studies here that I read through. I have some notes from them I like to go over.
Okay.
First study I like to go is the Lang study of 2013 and the Potter Bowles study of 2012. And they show that a higher frames per second is a stronger automatic attention capture. So when we were children growing up, for instance, we were probably working off, I don't know, our video games were probably less than 24 frames per second.
I mean, at most, I think I was getting 720p.
Yeah, at
I think
most.
only at the end of my childhood, I was getting 1080.
Well, I grew up on Zelda.
Now
I'm telling you guys my age. I had the original Zelda as a child, original NES. I played Mario 1. I played them all. So I'm an old head.
Woo.
Looking good, though. Looking good. White don't
Still
crack.
looking good.
White don't crack. Just playing. This guy's always going to look young. So it also shows that higher resolution, 1080 to 4K to 8K, raises your dopamine release in reward pathways. And it's actually identical to what gambling does to people's brain.
Oh,
so those reward pathways, a person who's gambling, it doesn't matter if they're winning or losing. They're receiving their dopamine drop. And most of them who are addicted gamblers don't care if they're winning or losing. Obviously, it's more fun to win.
It's just about experiencing the gambling.
Right. It's the experience of gambling itself. So that's one study I found here. Another one I was looking at was a Bracken study of 2010 and the Cummins study of 2021. And they were kind of similar studies. They showed that 4K video produces higher physiological arousal. So heart rate and skin conduction both increase by 20 to 30%.
Wow,
Along with
that's crazy.
along with going up to 4K is a 20 to 30% rise in screen checking, in demand screen checking. Your brain demands it of you.
Oh wow,
So,
that's highly addictive.
yeah, that's huge. 4K, it produces higher arousal than 720 and that's with identical content.
With
The
identical
content
content.
can be the same. You can watch it in 720, 1080, 2K, 4K. Every time you step it up, that rate of arousal increases. So that's
Wow,
huge.
that is huge.
Fast-paced content plus high frames per second plus high resolution. Now we're talking Black Ops because it's fast-paced content. You die and respawn, quick moving, quick
High
moving.
resolution.
Yep. It's especially developing for developing brains because it overstimulates the dopamine, and it suppresses your frontal cortex. So basically, it's suppressing your ability to self-control.
Oh, I see.
So while adults, we've learned to self-control over years through bad experiences, tough repercussions for our actions for making impulsive decisions. Children
Yeah.
have yet to attain that knowledge and then that wisdom yet.
Right.
So
That's true.
that's huge.
That's
Moving
that's
on.
definitely true.
Yes, definitely. So then we got the Nicolin study of 2014, the Anderson Kerkorian, and I know that this is crazy sounding, but I just want to give you the guys in case you want to go back, check the data, read the studies yourself.
Hmm.
Sometimes you might not believe someone, and maybe not this week, but in coming weeks, I'll be going back and adding links into all the studies and
Mm.
information that we are providing into our podcast.
Okay.
That seems just so that way we're not looking like liars or making stuff up.
Yeah, I think Stephen Crowder does that.
Yeah, I think he links
Yeah, he
every
leaves
study,
everything. Now that I
everything.
think about it, yeah, everything.
Even his videos that he references, he links
Yeah.
everything.
So you know that what he's saying is true. That's
Right.
true. Mhm.
So those studies in Nick Ellen and Anderson Kerkorian show that children under 10 are especially vulnerable because their brains are still pruning and myelinating visual motion pathways. Okay, so I know that sounds like a bunch of mumbo jumbo. Most people aren't going to understand that. I didn't understand that. My wife is in med school. Had to get her to help
But
me out a little
I'm
bit.
pretty sure she understood that.
Yeah, she understood it and she had to break it down for me. I'm not gonna lie. She's a very smart woman.
That's
So
great.
synaptic pruning, children have a use it or lose it when it comes to neural pathways. So if these are not refined, so as you're taking in information from around the world, whether in a natural setting, for instance,
Hmm.
you're refining your neural pathways. You have all these connections of your neural pathways, and as you grow, experience, and your brain develops, some of those neural pathways are cut out because they're
Ah,
not used.
okay.
So what's happening by putting this amount of information into a child's brain at once, it's preventing those neural pathways from actually pruning. So it's like pruning a plant, you're cutting your flowers, making them grow better, etc. So and they
I
grow
see.
better when you prune them. They're able to perform daily day activities better. So it prevents that pruning process.
Okay.
And what happens is as you age, and this is irreversible, guys. This isn't one of those things that like, we can reverse it now. Once these synaptic pathways are not pruned, there's no recovering. So
Really?
that is going to continue throughout your whole adulthood, and I see that as being a high contributing factor to ADHD, to violence among children, all these things that kids are suffering from at a higher rate every year. It seems like this is obviously not the only contributing factor, but it seems like to me it could be a
One of the
massive one.
contributing factors. Okay.
Absolutely. Let's see. So yeah, things like reading a book won't interest them. Going out and bird watching or sitting at the park and people watching or doing any of these activities that are actually really enjoyable. That
Yeah.
as an adult that are really enjoyable.
The
Sitting
kids don't go outside like they used to.
No, man. I mean,
No.
you know me, I love to fish. And whether you're catching fish or not, it's relaxing, it's calming.
It
You don't
is.
have all those synapses firing. It's a relaxing experience.
It
These
definitely is.
these kids aren't going to be able to have relaxing
Yeah,
experiences
because they're so amped up.
all the time.
Yeah,
And
all the time.
and there's no recovering from that.
Mm.
Those pathways are open for life. If the pruning does not occur as a child, it's not going to occur.
Wow.
So it's a lifelong thing here. And the brain will only be activated for those people for the rest of their life through high info situations.
High info.
So let's see. got a little let's get a little nerdy on it here. Let's get a little
Okay.
nerdy. So something at 720p at 30 frames per second. We're gonna call that our baseline moving forward.
Okay. Your baseline.
Which for us, for maybe for you because you're younger than me, but for me that's not even my baseline. My baseline's probably 240p and 16 frames per second. I grew up watching Wacky Racers and Donald Duck and you know, Scooby Doo and all these older cartoons I grew up on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's even smaller baseline. We're gonna increase the baseline to something like what you would have grown up
Yeah,
with.
like 720p.
Yeah, which seems rational. You move to 4K at 60 frames per second. And that is 3 to 5 times more information per second going into your brain.
Wow.
You bump that to 120 frames per second at 4K, you have 10 to 15 times more raw visual data than, for instance, what I was watching, which would be, you know, a 90s cartoon, let's say Rugrats or something, was 480p, 30 frames per second. 10 to 15 times more data is going
Wow.
into their brain.
10 to 15 times more.
So that falls back to that pruning process. They can't prune because they need all those synapses.
I see.
Let's see. Modern screens are what you would call an artificial supranormal stimuli, which basically means motion faster and smoother than anything in nature. 120 frames per second. You don't see that in nature. So you can go watch a NASCAR race. Your visual acuity, what you're taking in through your environment, you're never going to receive that. It's not natural.
It's not natural at all.
So this isn't the way the brain was designed or you know, built for millions and millions of years. We've been processing information the exact same.
And now they're starting to put out a lot of 8K, so it's gonna get even worse.
And as excited as I am, my children won't watch it.
Won't watch 8K?
No, my children won't watch 4K.
No, not even 4K.
My children aren't going to get screen time, man.
Okay.
My children won't have screen time. You know, maybe they'll get to watch a movie once or twice a week.
Once or twice a week.
You know.
What about you? Are you giving them a cell phone at an early age?
Oh, ho, 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 ho,
And
ho.
no.
There will be no cell phone usage in the Dean house. I don't know what the appropriate time is for someone to have a cell phone, but listen, if your kid gets injured at school, if something happens, and your kid calls you because they're injured or something happens, your child that's 10 years old is not going to be able to give you any information about what really occurred.
No.
But the adult who would call from the office would. So that's
No.
worth considering.
Yeah.
So when it comes to habit forming risk, they kind of, it's like, it's log 2. I don't know. It's another formula they've kind of devised.
Oh, another phone?
That they theoretically think might represent this. So 1990s cartoons, 24 FPS at 480. And we're going to call that the baseline for the habit forming risk.
Okay.
When you move to YouTube, you're at 1080p at 60 frames per second.
Oh.
So that is 4 to 6 times higher of a habit forming risk.
But you can bump YouTube to 4K.
Yes, you can now. So I guess actually, good point. TikTok and Reels are all 4K.
Oh, wow. They're 4K.
Or they have the ability to be 4K.
Ability to be 4K.
I imagine most people are not uploading in 4K, or not all people, but most are probably.
Right.
At 60 to 120 frames per second, that is an 8 to 15 times higher habit forming risk. So now you're going to get into something really crazy. What are the kids all about? What's their favorite game? Two favorite kids games. It's easy. You got this.
2 favorite kids games.
Yeah, video games. You got this.
I'm trying to think.
Fortnite.
Yeah, Fortnite. Okay,
Obviously.
yeah, Fortnite.
And Roblox.
Oh, Roblox.
Yeah, you hear the
Oh,
kids
okay.
talking about it all the time.
I think Minecraft is pretty big with kids too.
Is it?
Yeah, Minecraft.
Which I don't know much about Minecraft. I've seen it played, but I would imagine that's a little less stimulating.
I think it's less than it's more of like you're building a world.
Right. So maybe it's stimulating in a different manner. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I'm not going to pretend to be Minecraft expert. We can bring Dr. Lady in here. She likes her Minecraft. She might be able to tell you a little more. But let's see. Fortnite and Roblox is 120 to 240 FPS. It can be 240 frames per second if you play on PC.
Wow.
And at 4K, you're looking at a 30 times higher addictive rate.
30 times.
30 times higher chance of becoming addictive and addictive quantitative addictiveness to it.
Whoa.
That's massive.
That is massive.
It's actually scary, which it also explains why you have kids screaming and fighting about, you know, I don't want to stop playing my game. I have a friend who had a kid that was like that for a while. Thankfully, he woke up and has has really done a good job at reducing his kid's screen time. It seems to fix the kid a lot.
Oh, okay, that's great.
But you know that it's a massive amount of addiction coming there.
That is.
Now I guess let's get into some of the problems. You know, the higher values strongly correlate with shorter attention spans and ADHD. There is a massive correlation. The cravings are massive. So, you know, kid doesn't want to do anything else. They don't want to go play sports. They won't eat. Kids won't even eat sometimes.
Whoa.
And I won't pretend like I've never been susceptible to that.
Mhm.
I used to be in a clan in Black Ops 2 or 3, and
You just go without eating?
we'd have all day clan wars on Sunday because we were competing to be the best clan in the world,
Whoa.
which we were for 2 years straight. Um, but
But you'll go out eating the whole day.
oh, I would miss meals. I'd be late to meals, and
What?
that's actually why when I was doing this life transformation and getting into bodybuilding, I gave up. I sold all my video games.
Oh, okay.
I have them again now because I feel like I have enough. I have enough responsibility and
Well, I feel like video games is more of a luxury for a person that's already made it or close to making it.
absolutely. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
I mean, if you haven't made it, you really shouldn't be wasting your time
No.
playing.
No, if you haven't made it, you need to take all that time and focus on your purpose and get to your purpose or get close to your purpose and then spend time on video games. You know?
Absolutely, which ties back into what we were talking about earlier. A life
Yeah.
without purpose is no life at all.
Right, right.
You know, I got a lot of references to key studies. We don't need that. Get out of here. Oh, well, okay. So obviously it amplifies addiction risk. We've been through all this. Preschoolers show faster habit formation with a 28% addiction prevalence tied
Whoa.
to high resolution devices. So I'm going to give you, this is all going to be under like a child specific information, I guess, for age groups and stuff. So preschoolers, a 28% higher prevalence of addiction when
Wow.
they use high
28%.
resolution devices. And according to studies, it seems that it predicts a 15 to 25% higher rate of ADHD-like symptoms and reduced executive function.
And reduce executive function.
So, you know, you're starting your child out at an early age, already pushing them towards ADHD. Like I said, I don't think this is the only thing that results in ADHD.
But it definitely seems like it's a contributing factor, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's other contributing factors. What else would you say? I mean,
ADHD, I would say some of the chemicals in the food that we
absolutely.
eat. That's
Yeah.
why RFK is trying to take some of these chemicals out of our food because it's affecting our health. It's affecting our brain
The red
activity.
dye, for instance.
Yeah, the red dye,
Yeah.
things of that nature. So yeah, I would say it's quite a few things that are leading to ADHD. And then also you gotta think back in the day, a good old whooping helped as well.
Got me one or two of those in the
Yeah.
day.
Because I mean, you hyper and your mom put that belt on you, you gonna sit down somewhere.
Black Southern man right here. You heard it. You heard it. You heard it. He said, that whooping. That whooping come out. You know it's going down. I love it. Love it. I love it. So another thing that the relevance of this is that it causes a deficit in prefrontal cortex development. So, you know, this has to do with your ability to regulate emotion, your ability to not be violent, your ability to have impulse control. All these are in your prefrontal cortex. So exposure as a child that young it's creating serious. The ramifications aren't just, oh, he might be ADHD and we got to give him some pills, which pills are terrible. Fix the problem.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're neither here nor there.
Yeah, I think some of the side effects, maybe not those pills, but some of the side effects to this medication might be another contributing factor for ADHD too.
Oh,
you know?
absolutely. Speaking on my wife again, when I first met her, she was on ADHD medication. I believe it was Adderall. And, you know, did it help her sit down for 8 hours and get a full study day done? Absolutely.
Mhm.
But her grades were suffering because her memory retention when taking those medications was nil. So now she's completely free of it. She's never been doing better in her life and her grades, her ability to remember things.
That's wonderful.
It's the recall has really come back. But I mean, what do you expect when taking an amphetamine? It's not going to help
Yeah.
your memory. It's
Yeah.
just not going to help your memory.
And what did they say is Adderall is close to the chemistry of meth, right?
Very close.
Really?
So methamphetamine is a specific kind of amphetamine, whereas Adderall, I believe, is a blend
A blend,
of I think maybe
but it's very close.
maybe three kinds of
Hmm.
amphetamines, but and I think they're more balanced amphetamines, but it hurts memory.
Mm.
It hurts memory, no
Mm.
doubt.
Yeah, definitely.
So this is all from the Anderson Kerkorian study of 2015. And it showed longitudinal data on 300 plus toddlers linked 2 hours a day of high video resolution to a 10 to 20% development stoppage in language,
Oh,
language and problem solving.
wow.
So you could experience your child from exposing them to this high resolution material could experience a 20% delay in language and problem solving. You hear about
Mm.
kids now all the time not talking until they're 3, not talking until they're 4, not talking. You know what I mean? This is becoming a major issue.
I wonder, is that issue affecting our K through 12 and high school, middle school, that educational period, because we have a lot of illiteracy rate in the
Yeah.
country is really bad. Our kids can't do math anymore. I wonder, is that correlation there?
Well, any delay, you know, the only way you make up for delay is by working overtime.
Mm.
And you can't imagine that they're working overtime because they're just going to continue to be exposed to the same stimuli.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's true.
that's real interesting. Let's see here
Interesting.
some other relevances. You know, it hurts the reward loops. Let's move on to some a different age group though. So under fives, moving out of the very small children, preschoolers to under right around 5, under 5. Um, 60 FPS exposure shows thinner cortical areas of reasoning.
Reasoning.
So
Wow.
having 60 frames per second damages their ability to reason. So
Wow.
whether something bad happens to the child and they're like, oh, I need to not do that again next time, or these are my options and I need to figure out which one is the best option to not get in trouble or to even, I don't know, to get something done, to whatever the
Yeah.
case. Uh, that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah, and
Um,
that's gonna affect their reasoning with their parents. When their parents tell them to do something, get up and go, maybe take the trash out or something. They're not
and what
gonna
do you
be
see
able
the
to.
parents do? The kid can't reason and they hand him the phone again.
Yeah,
The
they
kid
try to
doesn't
calm him down.
the kid doesn't like the answer of you can't play games right now or you can't do this right
Yeah,
now. And rather than remove it, they just hand it back to him.
yeah, it's like a
The reasoning's gone for the child, but let's be honest, the reasoning is gone for the adults as well.
yeah. Parents are starting to use technology, starting to use phones as pretty much pacifiers.
And it is so damaging to the children.
It is.
So damaging. So let's move on to 3 to 15-year-olds. Key finding, the high resolution, high FPS is an arousal increase by 25 to 50%. That affects their dopamine and habit response. It doubles their craving intensity for the games. And according to the studies I've found, which are addiction reports from study D, I don't Ding et al. D3280, whatever. Uh,
Something.
yeah, something. The games Roblox and Fortnite are
Roblox.
extremely high risk games.
Really?
Extremely high risk games. So, you know, for the addiction specifically, but the addiction comes with all these other factors involved. So it's really scary.
That is scary.
Oh man, I
Wow.
just man, my passion is children, young people, and helping them develop, and just seeing all this.
Yeah, because the children are the future. So if they're messed up, the future of this country is going to be messed up.
And also, when you have like, I don't know how your childhood was. Mine could have. I had great parents for sure. My childhood had some real weird off kilter hiccups to it.
Hmm.
You know, that affected me for a life. It took me until my mid 30s to really over overcome
Overcome.
overcome some of these things.
Hmm.
So, um, deeper dive. It looks like there is no safe threshold for children for high spec media. There's no
Okay.
safe threshold according to studies.
Mm.
So really, they should not be taking it in at all.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
you know, you need the guidelines. Yeah, let's go into the guidelines, and these are going to be developed by major organizations. So such as I don't know, World Health Organization, the American Academy of Pediatrics, etc.
Oh, who? I don't trust who.
I don't trust them either, but on this one, I think we
You
could.
trust them on that one?
I'm not going to trust them with COVID.
Yeah, definitely not that. I think Trump, if I'm not mistaken, he broke the relationship up between us and who.
I know we're not giving them money
Yeah, we're
anymore.
not giving him money.
Now,
I
I
think
don't
that's
know if
what.
Biden reversed that.
I think Biden reversed it, but I believe that Trump reversed it back.
Okay,
Hmm.
okay. So guidelines, you need to prioritize quality over rigid limits. So the limits that you're giving your children, 1 hour of screen time, 2 hours of screen time, 3 hours of screen time, those are less important than the actual quality of the information they're
Mm-hmm.
taking in. Obviously, because they're highly addictive. They highly stress co-viewing. So if you're
Kobe.
watching something, if your child's watching something, you need to be watching it with them.
Mm.
Watching what happens.
Okay.
Um, and I guess the big problem is, these things are causing kids to need up to 13 hours of sleep per night to overcome and reset their bodies from the
Oh,
amount of
wow, that's more
stimuli
than the
they're taking in.
average.
Yeah,
Wow, that's way more than the average
they say it takes 10 to 13 hours of sleep a night to overcome
to
the addiction
overcome.
overload or the dopamine overload from these things.
And that's not happening because kids stay up late, wee hours of the morning playing video games, so they probably only getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep.
And then they're back up early to class, which
Yeah.
they're not focusing in and not learning anything and unable to absorb the information which is being given.
Mm.
So
Wow.
that's huge. So let's get into the actual restrictions. 0 to 18 months. They should have absolutely no screen time. None.
Mm.
Except video chat. If you're talking to your grandpa, you want to see grandpa, that's acceptable.
Mm.
That's acceptable.
Just downgrade to 720p.
Yeah. Yeah. So, in order, and you doing that is going to prevent those language and developmental issues.
Okay.
Who wants a kid that can't talk at 3 or 4 years old?
Yeah.
I
You don't
mean,
want that. Nobody
it
wants
it's
that.
it's scary.
Right.
Moving on to 18 to 24 months, you can slowly introduce some high quality things. You know, I don't know how I feel about this because I know about some of the writers at Sesame Street, etc. But Sesame Street's 30 FPS.
30
You could do
FPS.
something like that with co-viewing only 30 minutes a day, and that's
Mm.
for 18 to 24 months. So you must be with the child present
Okay.
and something with lower frames per second,
More.
possibly lower resolution would be good.
Okay.
2 to 5 years old, 1 hour of day of educational content only. That's all the way up to 5 years old.
Oh, wow.
How many times do you see a 4-year-old holding a cell phone in a restaurant?
A lot. I see that a lot.
Every time I go out to eat.
Yeah.
Every time. You need to be. They need to be avoiding fast-paced, fast FPS or high FPS, high resolution. The same kind of deal.
Okay.
6+ years, and that, as I said before, this is from the AAP, American Academy of Academics. 6+
American.
years, consistent limits to protect sleep and activity, no screens 1 hour before bedtime. We've heard that for a long time, though. Yeah, I don't know if you've heard that.
I think I have heard that before.
Yeah, that's something I have struggled with for many years. I'm now going back to reading before I go to bed, and it's really helping my sleep quality improve.
Oh, that's good.
So
That's
that
great.
that's really nice. Cap gaming for 6 years and plus at 1 hour of gaming at a
1 hour
time,
gaming
and an hour of gaming with a break they suggest.
with a break. Do they suggest what type of resolution to go with?
It says to cap the high resolution and high FPS gaming at 1 hour.
Okay.
So
Okay.
for teens, this is a little more intense. You need to be a little more aware of your teens. They're going through a lot of physiological changes at
Hmm.
that time. So it says, you need to be balancing it with mental health checks.
Okay.
You need to be
Mental health
talking
check.
to your kids. You need to be active with your kids, asking them how they feel, what they're feeling inside, what they're going through, what things they like, don't like, what's affecting their day, etc.
Mm.
Be in touch. This just comes down to being a good parent, really.
Yeah, it does.
You need to monitor them heavily for signs of addiction,
Mm.
and they need to have less than 2 hours a day of social media.
And now that you think about it, when you said it just comes down to be a good parent, I think a lot of parents push technology, phones, video games off on their children to relieve them of the responsibility of being parents. You know what I mean? So the
Which
the,
is
the
sad.
technology is the parent.
Why'd you have a kid?
Exactly.
Why'd you have a kid?
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm advocating against having children. I'm just advocating on raising them properly so that way they can grow up to be healthy, happy, and successful.
Exactly.
But yeah, 2 hours, anything over 2 hours of social media is highly linked to depression in teenagers.
Mm.
So there is AAP does offer a family media plan, which helps to rebuild a child's attention. But like I said, those that pruning, once it's not done, there's an issue. There's an
Yeah.
issue that may be
And you
unresolvable
said
for
that's
life.
irreversible.
Yeah, it can, yeah. If it goes on too long, it can be irreversible because your
Wow.
brain doesn't develop forever. At a certain point, your brain stops developing,
Mm.
especially that pruning process.
Yeah, pruning process.
That's meant for young children. You got to get through it.
Mm.
So yeah, and I mean it's pretty much the same with the WHO. No screen time, 0 to 1, limited 1 to 2, 2 to 4, less than an hour, no fast-paced content, blah blah blah. All about pretty much the same.
Mm.
Um,
Okay.
and another big thing, I guess we should remember. Well, actually, first let's go to the rationale. That high exposure, high resolution, high frames per second bothers your sleep and cognition, like we discussed.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw in COVID, we had these. What were kids doing during COVID? Nothing but
Mm.
video games. There was
Yep,
a
they were in all day long.
52% increase in worsened outcomes for children.
Wow. And
And
notice when they went back to school, their grades dropped. They weren't performing as well as they did before
socially
COVID.
inept.
Socially apt, can't communicate with people. That's very true.
So it's a huge problem. And I guess another thing to consider is as a parental role, there's a 28% addiction heritability via modeling. So kids mimic their parents.
Mm.
Kids want to be like mom, kids want to be like dad. If you're
Mm-hmm.
sitting around on your screen all day long, you're showing your kid how to deal with the world, how to move forward, what they
Mm-hmm.
should be doing. And so it's up to you to lead the way. It's up to you to take charge of your children.
Yeah.
And w- we all wish for a happier, healthier communities, happier, healthier country, and it's up to the parents to really, really turn this
Yeah, it's
process
up to the
around.
parents to lead the way. Mm-hmm.
And that's what I got for you on that topic, guys.
Right. I like that. That was a good topic.
Appreciate it.
Very
Appreciate it.
informative.